Welcome to Short Takes on Strategy.
Glad to be here.
So today we're digging into Chapter 5 of Ketchen and Short's Mastering Strategic Management. It's the 4th edition.
Right, the one covering the generic business strategy.
Exactly. And we've got this central question we want to wrestle with.
Which is?
Okay, so businesses everywhere are using more AI, right? And AI seems to have this real knack for cutting costs.
Definitely seeing that trend. Logistics, customer service, all sorts of areas.
So the question is, does this mean that the best cost strategy is basically the only way to go long-term, the only really viable approach?
Ah, that's a big one. Because the chapter lays out all those classic strategies.
Yeah.
Cost leadership, differentiation.
Focused versions of both, and yeah, that dreaded stuck in the middle.
Which nobody wants.
No kidding. And you look at a company like Target, right? They seem to be aiming for that best cost spot.
Trying to offer something more than, say, Walmart, but definitely not luxury prices.
Yeah, but then they're getting squeezed. Walmart's hammering them on price. TJ Maxx has the treasure hunt thing.
Amazon's got convenience down. And then you even have places like Anthropologie pulling customers who want something really unique.
It really makes you wonder if that middle ground, that best cost balancing act, can actually hold up. So let's nail down what we mean by best cost. What's the textbook definition, basically?
Ketchen and Short define it as offering relatively low prices, but also having substantial differentiation, something noticeably different or better than the cheapest option.
Okay, so not rock bottom prices, but good prices. And not just okay products, but significantly better stuff.
Exactly. Think of it like a graph. You're trying to hit a sweet spot away from just cheap and away from just super fancy and expensive.
But they say it's hard, right?
Definitely. Because adding those unique features, building that brand image that costs money.
Right, research, materials, design.
And then you have to tell people about it. Marketing isn't free either. You have to communicate that value.
Okay, makes sense. It's tricky. Now, bring in the AI factor. The book mentions how AI is helping companies cut costs.
Yeah, things like AI chatbots for customer service, which reduces staffing needs.
Predictive maintenance on machines so they don't break down unexpectedly.
Optimizing delivery routes, supply chains. It's all about efficiency. Boosting efficiency, cutting waste.
Okay, so here's the argument then. If AI starts lowering the basic cost of doing business for everyone, or at least for many companies, then maybe just being the absolute cheapest isn't such a strong advantage anymore. If lots of companies can use AI to get pretty efficient,
then the cost difference between them might shrink. That's the idea.
so if everyone's costs are kind of leveling out, or at least getting lower across the board.
Then how do you compete?
Exactly. You have to offer something else, some kind of added value, some differentiation.
Even if you're still trying to keep prices relatively low, because AI helps you do that.
Right. So it pushes everyone towards that middle ground, doesn't it? Offering good value, decent differentiation, enabled by AI efficiencies, like best cost becomes the default setting.
That's the core argument for best cost dominance in the AI era. Pure cost leadership, just being the cheapest, becomes harder to sustain as a unique advantage.
It's like a race to the bottom that suddenly more people can join because of AI.
Potentially. But hang on, we need to look at the other side too. What are the strategies that still work really well? Like pure cost leadership. Look at Walmart. The book talks about them, that their whole model is relentless efficiency, massive scale.
Always low prices, save money, live better. It's drilled into you.
Right. And their sheer size gives them incredible bargaining power, logistical advantages. Does AI completely wipe that out?
That's a good point. Maybe AI helps Walmart become even more efficient in ways smaller companies just can't match because they don't have Walmart's scale or data.
Their scale advantage might actually be amplified by AI in some ways. So maybe pure cost leadership remains very powerful for certain kinds of businesses, especially high volume ones.
Okay, fair counterargument. What about the other end? Differentiation?
Think Coca-Cola. That brand loyalty is immense. Or public supermarkets, known for amazing customer service.
People will pay more for Coke than a generic cola. And Publix. Yeah, their service is a big differentiator.
Can AI really replicate that? That feeling you get from a brand you trust? Or that genuine helpfulness from a Publix employee?
Probably not the human touch part. I mean, AI can personalize things, sure. The book mentions personalized recommendations, analyzing sentiment.
Which can help differentiation, definitely. Optimize advertising, maybe suggest products.
But can it build that deep, decades-long brand connection like Coke has? Or that reputation for service Publix built? Seems less likely.
And the book stresses that imitation only goes so far. You need constant innovation to stay ahead if you're differentiating. AI might help with innovation, but it doesn't guarantee it.
So strong brands, unique features, great service, these might still command premium prices, even if AI lowers some base costs.
And don't forget the focus strategies, targeting specific niches.
Right, focus cost leadership, like Redbox used to be for cheap movie rentals,
Yeah.
maybe. Or Claire's for accessories.
Or focus differentiation, take Maserati for luxury sports cars, or maybe those super high-end niche guitar makers the book mentions.
Agostino Laprinzi guitars, yeah.
Okay.
Or that floating BBQ joint.
J. Sambar floating BBQ. Exactly. These businesses aren't trying to serve everyone. They serve a specific slice of the market really, really well.
And it's hard to see how AI completely disrupts that, right? If you want that specific luxury car or that handmade guitar, AI optimizing costs elsewhere doesn't really change your desire for that specific niche product.
Precisely. AI might help these focus companies find their niche or serve it better, maybe predict demand.
But the core appeal is the specialization.
So it looks like all the strategies could still have their place. AI might just change how they're executed.
Okay, so maybe not a simple march to best cost for everyone. It's more complex.
But the danger the book highlights is still very real. Getting stuck in the middle.
Yeah. Not cheap enough, not different enough. Arby's is mentioned, potentially New Belgium Brewing, Circuit City's failure.
If you don't have a clear advantage, either low cost or unique value, you're vulnerable.
And maybe AI makes that worse because it raises the bar. Competitors are using AI to get cheaper or offer cooler, more personalized stuff. If you're just, meh.
You get squeezed even harder. The pressure increases from both sides.
That really loops back to Target, doesn't it? Trying to navigate that space, it's tough.
It highlights that fundamental tension. Cost versus value. Always a strategic balancing act.
Look, I hear all that, but I still think the underlying trend is pushing towards best cost for the majority. AI just makes being only cheap or only differentiated but expensive harder to sustain for most businesses.
I just don't see it as the only viable path.
It's becoming the most logical path. If base costs come down thanks to AI, you have to reinvest some of that saving into making your product or service stand out. Otherwise, you're just lost in the crowd of newly efficient competitors. You need that differentiation, even at a competitive price. That is best cost.
But that assumes differentiation is just about features AI can help optimize. What about brand? What about trust built over years? What about the experience? Walmart's cost leadership isn't just about tech, it's decades of operational mastery. Coca-Cola's differentiation isn't just marketing spend, it's embedded in culture. You're dismissing the deep roots of these other strategies.
Roots that can be pulled up. Brand loyalty erodes if the price difference gets too big, especially when AI helps competitors offer surprisingly good alternatives for way less. And Walmart's scale, yes, it's huge, but AI gives smaller companies efficiency tools they never dreamed of before, letting them chip away. The pressure is on value for money, which forces companies into that best cost zone.
You're so focused on the tech. You're ignoring that people will pay a significant premium for perceived superiority, for luxury, for craftsmanship, for something they feel is truly special. That desire doesn't vanish just because AI makes cheap t-shirts cheaper.
Okay, special, fine. But special still needs justification. And AI is getting better and better at delivering personalized, tailored specialness at scale. That unique recommendation, that perfectly timed offer, that customized product configuration delivered efficiently, that sounds an awful lot like differentiation at a competitive cost, aka best cost.
No, that's different. Perceived value isn't purely rational. It's emotional. It's aspirational. It's the story, the feeling. AI can't fake authentic brand connection or the pride of owning something truly artisanal.
But how long does that feeling last when your wallet is empty and AI-powered competitors are offering 90% of the experience for 50% of the price? The practical pull towards better value, which is what best cost represents, is incredibly strong.
You're calling it inevitable. It ignores so much about why people buy things. Unique experiences, genuine connection, trusting a long-standing reputation. AI might assist, but it can't be those things.
But it can enable them better than ever. Hyper-personalization feels like a connection. Predictive service feels like they care. It's using tech to deliver differentiated value efficiently. It all points back to best cost.
You're just bending everything to fit this one idea.
Yeah.
You're boiling down complex human behavior to efficiency.
Because efficiency and clear value are becoming the keys.
Yeah.
In this hyper-competitive world.
And you're ignoring fundamental principles of differentiation. Timeless principles.
Principles being rewritten by technology. right now.
Oh, honestly, you're choosing not to see it.
Oh, no. And no, my Coke, it's all over my laptop.
What happened? Are you okay?
No, I am definitely not okay. Seriously. It's everywhere. The keyboard, it's probably getting inside. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. The whole short take could be ruined. My computer is going to die.
Well,
yeah.
That's certainly one way to interrupt a debate.
Yeah.
Maybe take a second there.
Yeah.
Let things settle.
Hopefully your keyboard isn't too sticky with strongly held opinions.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, wow. The ETH key is definitely sticky. Fantastic. Just great. Slightly muffled. Sounds of wiping. Okay. I think I got most of it. The space bar sounds crunchy. Right. Where were we? Best cost. Yeah. Look, despite the cola catastrophe, my point stands. The underlying force is AI making efficiency more accessible, which forces companies to differentiate to survive, pushing them towards that best cost model.
Calmly now. Okay, well, I hope your laptop recovers from its sugar shock. I still think you're overlooking how AI supports all the strategies. The chapter is clear on this. It helps cost leaders with logistics, maintenance, like we said.
Yeah.
It helps differentiators with personalization, analyzing customer feedback.
Right.
And it helps focus players, identify their niches, tailor what they offer, predict what those specific customers want. AI is a tool, a powerful one, but it can strengthen any clear strategy. It doesn't just funnel everyone into best cost. But don't all those AI applications ultimately either lower costs or enhance differentiation, which, when you combine them, seems to lead back there?
It leads to companies getting better at whatever strategy they've chosen. It makes the competitive landscape more dynamic, maybe raises the stakes, but doesn't necessarily dictate one single winning strategy for everyone.
The size. Okay, maybe not the only way, but I still think it's the dominant current, the way the river's flowing for most companies.
Perhaps we can agree that it's complex, and we're still figuring out exactly how AI changes the long-term strategic game.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So, wrapping up this eventful short take, we've debated whether AI pushes everything towards a best cost strategy by lowering costs and forcing differentiation.
And we've countered that pure cost leadership, strong differentiation, and focused strategies likely remain very viable, potentially even enhanced by AI in different ways.
The big warning, though, remains. Don't get stuck in the middle, no clear cost advantage, no clear unique value.
It's probably an even worse place to be as AI makes competitors sharper on both fronts.
Absolutely. So, a final thought for you listening. As AI keeps evolving, how does your own definition of value change? What counts as a real competitive advantage? Are there sources of differentiation we're overlooking now that might become crucial? And think about how these strategies cost, differentiation, focus, best cost play out in the industries you know.
Lots to think about. And maybe keep your drinks away from the electronics.
Yeah, good advice. Until next time on Short Takes on Strategy.